If you've ever used LimeWire to illegally download a very low quality MP3 of Akon's Smack that's actually Afro Man's Because I Got High, but also the file is mislabeled as Sandstorm by Stan with Eminem in parentheses, and oh, no wait, never mind, it's actually just 12 viruses in a trench coat disguised as a song, I have one question to ask you. You wouldn't download a fucking car, would you? The year is 1999. And I am 5 years old. Ah, look at his giant head. As I play Space Cadet Pinball on my father's very heavy-set Windows 98 off-white desktop computer while farting and coming, over in Massachusetts, Sean Fanning and Sean Parker, portrayed by Justin Timberlake obviously, launch a little application called Napster. And Napster says, "Hi music industry, I'm Napster, and I'm gonna set you on fire." For the very first time, there is an easy to use tool available to the masses that lets you download all of the music in all of the lands, and for free. Oh my God, that's crazy. And this is pretty monumental because music had existed since the first time Adam was like, "Everybody clap your hands." And Eve was like, "Stop it, what is happening? Cut it out." And now thanks to the MPEG-1 audio layer 3, AKA the MP3 if you didn't go to college, you didn't have to buy a physical record or cassette or CD just to listen to one song. CD? More like, do you see these songs on my computer? You know what I'm saying? Now, Napster is super important, not just because it lets you download Kryptonite by Three Doors Down really slowly and for free, but because it introduced peer-to-peer or P2P file sharing to the masses. What peer-to-peer means is that instead of one person uploading a file to a central server and then another person downloading that file from a central server, peer-to-peer takes out the middleman and just lets people share files and dirty little secrets directly with each other. Dirty Little Secret obviously being a reference to the All-American Rejects smash hit, Move Along. Moving along, P2P can be used to transfer all sorts of files, not just MP3s, and eventually it will. Like a lot. Like a lot of porn. But Napster only let you do MP3s, and Napster gets crazy popular, eventually reaching like 80 million registered users at its peak, which if you know simple math, you know that that's more than 4. But the Recording Industry Association of America, aka RIA, isn't having any of that shit. On December 7th, 1999, only months after the launch of Napster, RIA files suit on Napster's butt cheeks on behalf of the 5 major record labels: UMG, SME, WMG, EMI, BMG, KFC, CKY. Between its launch in 1999 and its shutdown in 2001, basically everyone and their dog tried to sue Napster. A&M Records, Metallica, Dr. Dre, who is, he famously said, "Fuck Napster." But this was a ton of publicity for the app, and it only led to more and more people sprinting towards Napster to take advantage of the service before it would inevitably be taken down. The service finally shut down on July 11th, 2001, but dog, it was too late. The effects were irreversible. The entire internet had done a sick-ass Superman seat grab and completely transformed almost overnight. But with no Napster, where did people turn? Allow me to introduce you to my friend Cadet. Oh, have you met LimeWire? This is my very lightweight, tiny friend who's eventually gonna kinda be a huge deal, and his name is BitTorrent. While Cadet and LimeWire were the apps that were the most popular immediately after Napster's death in 2001, both of them were a little bit goofy, a little drunk, maybe they were hitting grandma's bottle cabinet. I don't know. LimeWire was released in May of 2000 by a dude named Mark Gordon, who has degrees from Harvard, Yale, and Stanford. And apparently, all of them meant nothing when he made LimeWire. And Cadet was released in 2001, and it was developed by some Scandinavian dudes whose names I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce, but they also would later go on to help develop Skype. What is this, the fucking History Channel? I don't look like an ice road trucker. But also, more extra importantly, both of these were absolute garbage for your computer. I wanna talk specifically about Cadet first. Cadet here was closed source, which means that to this day, people don't know know like exactly how everything worked. For example, the algorithm used to double check that 2 files are actually the same thing. Like if 2 dudes both upload Say My Name by Destiny's Child, and it's trying to like double check that they're both the same thing so we can organize them. It did not do a good job, which means that A, you could download what you thought was It's Been a While by Stained, but surprise fucker, that's Weird Al. And B, if you're downloading some software or video games that have some .exes in them, please .excuse me from my computer before I invite 17 really cool viruses into my home. And hey, you remember our pal Rhea? They were doing it too, yeah. They were fighting the war on illegally downloading music by spreading fake-ass corrupt files on Kazaa. Isn't the internet so crazy? Another small but also like kind of huge bad thing about the app, it was riddled with adware and malware and spyware. Basically everywhere you could think of, it had it. WarioWare, Ace Hardware. But regardless, Kazaa is popping off hard from like 2001 to 2004-ish. So hard that in 2003, our favorite pal Rhea over here says, you know what? Fuck it. If we can't sue Kazaa, we're just gonna start suing a bunch of Kazaa users directly for a shit ton of money, like college students. Why? Fuck them. That's why. You don't need a fucking business degree. Society is a lie. Anarchy, dude. Gamers are the government. As you could imagine, traffic starts to die down on Kazaa because users are getting afraid of going to jail. And while users scatter to other P2P services like LimeWire, in 2006, Kazaa's parent company, Charmin, is sued by MGM in this huge lawsuit and ends up settling for the little tiny baby amount of $100 million, which is a lot of, I'll rephrase it for my younger viewers so they could better understand it. It's like if you took 4 of your mom's credit cards. Yeah, like so many V-Bucks. You get it. I'm proud of you. Okay, so anyways, what Kazaa and LimeWire had in common is all of the bad stuff, mislabeled files, viruses, malware, a really cool feature where every song is actually just Bill Clinton saying,
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
LimeWire would even eventually release a version that you could pay for called LimeWire Pro that promised better search results and faster downloads, but because life is hilarious and pirates always find a way around stuff, you could just download LimeWire Pro with LimeWire, which is the funniest thing in the world. It wasn't perfect. It was probably gonna require your parents' computer to go to Planned Parenthood and get tested for every STD imaginable, but god damn it, bro. I gotta download that new Avril Lavigne though. Even though it was a beautiful disaster, LimeWire had a good long run from 2000 till its ordered shutdown in 2010, when the US District Court claimed that LimeWire and its Ivy League creator Mark Gorton were both found guilty of copyright infringement and unfair competition. And hey, you remember our super low-key chill friend Rhea? So hilarious and chill, especially when he suggests that LimeWire owes him $72 trillion in damages to the music industry, which is more money than the earth had at that time, which luckily the judge thought was ridiculous and they settled for $105 million, which is like practically nothing. And over time, music, movies, and TV shows gradually figured things out and evolved with piracy. Unlimited music for like $10 a month on Spotify is a pretty beautiful evolution of the internet's capabilities. And it's way better than running the risk of downloading the Soulja Boy Travis Barker remix on LimeWire and running the risk of infecting your dad's computer with a funny disease and also potentially getting sued by Rhea for downloading a Travis Barker production. So what the fuck is the point of all of this? Well, okay, so yeah, people are always gonna want shit for free, and that's never gonna change. But also, a lot of people are willing to pay money and support content that they care about if they feel like there's trust and respect shown on both sides, but more importantly, you can get LimeWire Pro with LimeWire. That's it for today. I really do hope you're doing well, and please stay tuned for a message from our sponsor. Do your clothes look bad? Do your clothes make you feel like when you look at them you go, ah? Well, here at Jakey, attorneys at law, we can help. We have clothes that can protect you from situations of hazard, such as going to the mall and the guy at the Dairy Queen saying, hey, we don't serve bozos like you here wearing shirts like that. Or when you go to Ace Hardware and you're trying to get a lug nut and the guy said, nice try, bozo shirt. Jakey, attorneys at law can protect you from all of this. Shirts like the Nakey and Jakey Special Videos Unit to let people know when you wear it that, hey man, I've seen a guy die before. I've seen a man get boiled like a hard-boiled egg. Or the Jakey and Jakey Attorneys at Law logo t-shirt featuring our many mantras that we say as a sort of a cheat sheet in situations where you don't know what's legally going on, such as we're on the case and we're going to do it. If you break the law, you break the jaw. I can smell crime with my sniffers. If you rob someone, then that means they have no money. You're probably going to jail. Well, not you, but maybe you, if you do crimes. I guess really it just depends. Okay, bye. And we have other shirts now too. And we had them before as well, but they're still there. If you feel like we can give you the protection that you require today, head on over to teespring.com/stores/NakeyJakey and have Jakey and Jakey attorneys at law handle your case. Please buy my merch. I want to go to sleep now.